live. Hi, everybody. We've got some piping coming at you. We're working on the Charm Patterns Patsy Blouse, and I'm so excited to tell you that I've made some progress since we last saw each other on Thursday night. Let me show you what I've been up to. If you recall, I was telling you how the problem with doing this color blocked overlay for the yoke was that the floral pattern was just going to show through any kind of white fabric that I used. Now, a friend suggested that I use a gray in between, and this has actually solved the problem. So, what I was able to do here is I cut out 2 pieces of the yoke, one in the white. I did an edge stitch at 5/8 inch and then sliced into that little notches and folded it up and ironed it. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to top stitch this onto the back of the blouse. All right. So now here is a question. It's a very big, important question. Should we also add some red piping here as a little bit more of a distinctive look? I would automatically be like, yes, let's do it, but I'm a little bit concerned about actually sewing it on and getting it to look good, because what this would mean is that I'm sewing through the floral fabric, I'm sewing through the edge of this maxi piping, and then I'm sewing through 1 layer of fabric, 2 layers of fabric, 3 layers of fabric. So that's like 5 layers, which my sewing machine can handle, but I just really don't want to have the piping be like, you know, kind of sloppy and not look neat. So I just have to think about this. I mean, I guess what maybe I could do to play it safe would be like, yeah, maybe this is what I could do. I could do a basting stitch here to hold this together. And then I could do the, it's going to be basically like edge stitching here. I'm going to try to go about 1/8 of an inch away from this, this folded up edge of this yoke. So what do we think of this? White and red and floral. And now bear in mind, we're going to have a floral collar up here, and this is again going to be a, well, let's think about that. For this sleeveless version then, I did cut some, what's the word I'm looking for? Michelle's suggestion, if you do the piping, pin, pin, pin. That is an excellent suggestion, and I will. So, sorry, what I'm trying to say is that the armholes for the sleeveless blouse are just going to have like a binding going around them. So if that's the case, I don't know if I would want to have a floral binding up here by the white, or if I would want to have a white binding instead. Maybe I could do the binding up here white, the binding down here floral. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that one. I do think it looks pretty nice, the white, red, and floral. All right, let's stick with this. Now, I'm very nervous. I'm very nervous. So what I did last time is I sewed the back darts and I sewed the darts on one of the front pieces. However, this one has not gotten any darts sewn yet, and that's going to make it frankly easier to work with this because we've just got a completely flat piece of fabric here, and it's going to be easier than if we have some darts kind of giving some shaping. So let's start here. Why don't we? And I'm just, before I do anything, going to make sure, I'm nearly positive that I have enough of this maxi piping, but always good to double check, right? Okay, we are definitely good. It's going to use like less than half of it, so that's cool, because this was a really good find Look at, yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted looking at fun sewing things. Here, let's get one more look because I'm a little nervous and now I'm postponing. This is what it's going to look like when we have the floral collar up top. That's going to be really nice looking. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, let me get this out of the way. Let me get this out of the way. And let's start pinning. Now, another option is I could always just sew the piping on first and then attach both pieces together. Like, it basically would cause it to have an extra stitch line probably, because I don't think I'd be able to totally line it all up. But I think we're going to be able to do this. Now, in order to get this to bend here, oh, you know what? Some of these tops, I wonder, like when I put the placket in the front here, I wonder if I should put binding down that too. That might look sharp. Oh, there's so much to think about. I love that there's so many choices with these patterns. You can pretty much do whatever you want. Sky is the limit with these Gertie patterns, you guys. All right, so now I'm just gonna, I'm gonna have to clip this here to get it to be really nice. But this is where we're gonna cut our piping. And then, sorry, my alarm went off. We're still recording, right? Good. Welcome everybody, so glad you're here. Happy Sunday night. We are sewing Gertie's Charm Patterns, and this is called, what is this called again? It's called the, wow. It was like nearly 100 degrees here today, and my brain isn't working. This is called the Patsy Blouse, after Patsy Cline, I believe. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to start some pinning. And I don't think this is going to be easy, but let's see what we can do. Oh, I don't think I clipped that right where I wanted it to. See, I've got some hand and finger issues, and this stuff's a little bit fiddly. So let me get some pins in here before I do anything else. All right. Oh no, look it. That would have been a big mistake. Okay, let's do this. Let's get really good and lined up. And then I'm actually just going to throw some pins in up high. Up here. And that's just going to help this from getting all fiddly, because we don't want that to happen at all. This is a little bit off, but I'm not too worried about it, I don't think. This is the only part that's going to get top stitched. The rest of this is just going to be a basting stitch, because then this is going to be sewn together, right sides together to the back of the top. And that's going to be all good. Wow, I am dragging today. This heat is like something else. Are you all getting some hot weather by you too? It's like a lot of the US is just sweltering. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's start. I thought I put the notch right where it needed to be, but I guess I was a little bit off. Yeah, I'm a little bit off here. So anyway, I'm just going to start at the bottom, I think, and work my way up. Oh, this is going to be something that hopefully won't drive me bonkers, because obviously, like, we have two pieces to the front of this top, and it's going to have the buttons down the center, but we're going to have to be really careful to make sure that this point is, like, totally aligned with the point on the other side. Otherwise, I'm going to be really disappointed in myself, because I'm going to notice that it's off kilter. And while probably nobody else will notice, The fact that I would notice is something that would probably make me a little bit upset. But hopefully it won't be too bad. All right, you know what? We're going to have to pin like this because I think I'm just going to be sewing over these pins. Oh, see, this is going to be tricky because this binding, the piping only has, I don't know if that's like 3/8 of an inch there. Whoa, this stuff is tricky. If you've been following along this series, I'm not just sewing a Western blouse for me, I'm also sewing one for Barbie. And hers is a vintage pattern. It's very, very gorgeous. But for the Barbie clothing, that's where I'm used to the things having to be like really precise and delicate. And the fact that this is human clothing where we need to be just as accurate and precise, I'm definitely getting a little bit of a drill here in my sewing capabilities, which is good. Nothing like honing your sewing skills on a Sunday night. All right, let's keep pinning. And I'm sorry that this is kind of a slow, tedious process. I'm sorry for you, and I'm also sorry for my poor thummies who don't really like this kind of work. All right, so now let me get a better notch in here, because this little end here is where we're going to be pivoting. And I'm doing as best of a job as I can to really get this to be able to come back up and like basically fold over itself. It might need one more. No, maybe that'll do it. How's that? That's pretty good. It's not perfect, but I'll take it, I think. Okay. Oh, wow. Let's see. Oh, I don't want to use that pin. I like using these pins that have like no, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't have a pin head. They're just like kind of flat on the end. Because I feel like those ones are less likely to get stuck in my machine. I don't really have any evidence to back that up, but it just feels that way to me. This is looking really good. Wow. So I was like just completely undecided about how I wanted to do this, and now that I'm seeing it pinned together like this, I can't imagine having done it any other way. This is going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. Hang on one sec. This has to go up a little bit higher. I'm trying to get it as close as I can. And I think this is looking pretty good. Let's just get this last little pin in here and then we'll do some sewing. Oh my gosh, the pinning is the hardest part. It's very hard for me to grip onto these tiny little things. All right, this, I just want to snug that up and I want to snug that down, snug that up again. This part's going to be the hardest, but it's like the most critical in my mind. How's that? Pretty good, I think. All right, here's how the pinning job looks. Do you all approve? Let's do some sewing. Oh my gosh, I'm very nervous. Oh, I'm gonna have to take a deep breath or two, because wow, I'm nervous. Okay, so for this, I'll pull you guys over here in a second. I'm trying to think what foot I want to use. Probably, oh, you know what? I actually have an invisible zipper foot. I wonder if I should use that. Which side do we want the piping to be on? Okay, let's take a look here. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about my invisible zipper foot. This is something I picked up at a thrift store, and it's called the Unique Zipper Roller Foot, the invisible zipper foot that fits all modern sewing machines. So here you can see this is how your invisible zipper will go in, and then your needle just goes right to the side of it. You get really close. I'm going to be using that for another project, but what about piping? Would this work for piping? Gee, it might. I don't know. It's like a little bit bigger, I think, than the zipper is meant to be. And plus I've got these pins in here. Gosh, this is, I wonder if I should practice this before I actually sew on my blouse. I don't want to practice. I want to just sew. They do say that practice makes perfect, however. Should we give this a little bit of a trial, or should we just go for it? All right, well, let's look at our other foot options. I have a, I think this is just called a narrow straight hem foot. See how narrow this is? That might be an option. Let's see what we would look like if we did that. Well, let's just imagine that it's not on backwards, but that would kind of go like that. And that wouldn't be as close as I want it to be. So let's not use this one. Let's take a look at our zipper foot, our regular zipper foot. Whoops, I didn't realize I was pressing on my, what's it called? Okay, here's the regular zipper foot. This might be the best choice because look at what we've got here. This basically just allows for your needle to go straight there, as close to that piping or as close to your zipper as it can get. So let's go with this. We're going to use zipper foot, everybody. Woohoo! Hooray for having the right foot attachments for the project, because it makes all the difference. Woohoo! Okay. This is a hard thing for me to do, getting that foot changed out. If y'all want to give me a thumbs up for how good I just did changing that foot, I would be very grateful. And I'm so glad you're here watching today. This is going to be a lot of fun, you guys. I can't wait to sew this. There's 109 people here. That's awesome. All right, let me get you in a good spot. And let me try not to freak out in terror. And let me get this stuff cleared out of the way so that I have room to work. Okay. Oh my gosh. Have you all ever installed piping before on a sewing project? I have, and I did it how many times? Once. I made a hat, and it was flipping amazing. And I also want to sew some pajamas with piping on them. It just adds such a nice detailed touch to a project. And wow, I can't even wait to see how this is going to turn out. Is this angle any good? Hi, Eve Bear. Welcome. Glad you're here. How about that? Is that a really good angle? I think so. You could still see, right? Yeah. I just like rolled up the top over there to get it out of the way. You know what? See, I'm sorry, guys. I can't sacrifice my sewing space to give you a good view. I apologize. Whew. Okay, so there's a couple of different things I could do here. I could panic and freak out and just like go bonkers, or I could just be like, all right, I got this. It's cool. No sweat. Let's boogie. So I'm going to try that approach. We got our machine on. I already almost accidentally started it up earlier. Here's my foot. Okay, so I'm about not too far and not too close to this end, and we're pinned up here, so I know I'm lined up where I'm supposed to be. All right, let's start sewing. I'm going to just hand crank it a couple times and get the feel for it. Hang on a second. Something's not right. I'm not sure what's happening right now. Oh, okay. So I actually was going through the fabric, but here, something didn't feel right. Let me change. I don't know what I need to change. Okay, let's just start again. Pretend that didn't happen, or you could just say that that was like a warm-up round. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, now let's see if this is actually going to start. I think maybe what it is I have like a lot of layers of fabric under here right now. And my, here, I almost want to move that over. Hang on one sec. I'm going to back stitch here to the end. Whoops, I actually didn't mean to do that, did I? Oh my gosh, I'm going to break my needle. Hang on one second, you guys. For some reason, I was like, oh, maybe it's a good idea to put my needle position to the left instead of to the center, because then I'll really get close to the edge. And that turned out not to be a great idea. So I'm just kind of thinking that maybe I need to lower the pressure on my foot. Okay, this is really tricky. Maybe I also need to make my stitch length longer, because we're going through, what did I say, 5 layers of fabric now? And it's a little bit lumpy. Wow. All right, let's see. Whew, thank you. I love this material too. It's by the Pioneer Woman. I'm going to hand crank a little bit and just try to get some momentum here and get a feel for what's happening. Oh, I think maybe what happened was I might have been kind of like, all right, this is looking good. All right, let me get this pin out of here and let's pick up the speed a little bit. All right, guys. Wow. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's keep going. Sometimes, oh my gosh, am I bleeding all over my white fabric? Ah, Band-Aid, Band-Aid, I need a Band-Aid. Oh my goodness, this is not good news. Pardon me while I grab an alcohol wipe, which I'm prepared for, but let me get a Band-Aid too. How did I manage to poke myself? I'll be right back, guys. Don't worry, I'm not injured badly. It's all worth it for the sake of this project. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Of course, you have to bleed when the fabric's white, right? Now, I can tell you some good news, which is I have, oh, here's a good tip. Hydrogen peroxide to get the blood out. That is a good tip. I also have this stuff. Let me try to remember what it's called. It's called non-oxide. I don't know what it's called. It's this stuff that I think Oprah recommended for getting stains out. I've used it to get blood out of silk. And it's like very gentle on fabrics. Do you want me to go get it and show you what it is, or do you want me to keep sewing? Let's keep sewing. We just have to trust this is going to come out. I'm sorry for being so gory this episode. I wasn't planning on it. It's all part of the job. These top stitches look amazing. You're going to be really impressed. Okay, let's keep going. Let me get some torque here. Okay, here we go. Let me get this pin out of here without poking myself. And now let's keep going. This part's going to be very tricky. I'm trying not to stretch my fabric. And I have like a little thread coming out at the bottom there that I'm not too happy about. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Let me slow down and maybe hand crank a bit. So that makes it more authentic. This is a cowgirl Western blouse. And you know, sometimes you just gotta rub some dirt on it. When you bleed on your shirt, you just gotta throw some hydrogen peroxide on it and get it out. Okay, so I'm kind of like pivoting around here. It's a little tricky, but not bad, not bad. I think this is going pretty well. Okay, let's get this pin out of there and let's sew. The zipper foot was definitely the right choice. That one actually, I got like really close there. I'm not sure why or how, but I did. Okay. Now I'm a little bit more of a equal distance from when I was starting out. Okay, here we go. Let's finish up. And we'll do like a couple of hand turns, and then we're going to back stitch down here at the end. Oh boy. Okay, so this, I actually need to go back over some of this because I got a little bit too close to the margin, which is interesting. I'll show you what I mean. Let me cut this out. Okay, so this looks great. Look at how good this is. But here is where things went a little bit awry. So I'm gonna have to repeat this. I was just like too close to the piping. I'm not sure how that happened, but let's do it over again. And maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew it. I wonder if I should try doing it from this direction, if that's gonna make things better or worse. Well, I don't know. So I'm keeping my needle in the center here. This guy can be like loosened. Well, if my fingers are strong enough, they aren't always. I can loosen this up, and now it goes so that the needle's on the other side of the hole than it was at the beginning. And this can just kind of like go back there. All right, so let's start. It's not quite tight enough. Hang on. Okay. All right, let's do this again and really try to okay, this looks good. Let's just start again. Oops. I hate it when I forget to come off a back stitch. Okay, so we already got our back stitches. Let's finish this. And I'm gonna do like one back stitch down here because we don't want it coming out. Okay. Now I think we're in business. Wow. So I could probably even make these stitches longer if I wanted to. For top stitching, often you use like a longer stitch length, but I didn't really, I was on, what did I end up on? I think I was like 8 stitches per inch or 10 stitches per inch, but because it's going through 5 layers of fabric, it ends up looking quite a bit shorter than that. Oh my god, it looks so good! So here's what we got. I love it! Now, before I get too carried away, I am going to pop some stain remover on this. And we're going to work on the back while that blood is trying to come out. Well, you know what? It's already dried. It's not going to make a difference. I'll set that over here for now. And let's work on this back yoke. Hi, Elisa. Good to see you. Welcome back. All right. Now, oh my god, you guys. Let me get all this stuff out of here so I have a little more room. Isn't it like anytime you're sewing, you always need just a little more room? Here, I'm going to pan you guys out. I'm not going to be able to see the chat for a little bit here so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let's get really nice and whoa! I moved my foot to a different spot than it used to be in, and obviously I don't know that it's there. What the heck? Hang on a second. It feels like my tension's kind of weird or something today. Okay, back to work. Let's not distract ourselves anymore with the silly foot. Okay, so again, if you're just joining, this is what I've done. This has been, what's the word? Stay stitched. Oh man, I got some, No, that's just a fuzzball. Okay, this has been stay stitched here on the white fabric, and then I cut out of the gray fabric that little bit of like 5/8 inch seam allowance, and then the white gets folded up, and that is what's allowing this white fabric to be on top of the floral without seeing that colorful floral popping through the white fabric, which it was doing before. Even with 2 layers of white, it was still not cooperating until I used the gray. And I'm getting a little bit flustered because my fingers are misbehaving. And my fabric is like a little bit sticking to itself. These are all cotton fabrics that I'm using. The floral one is from the Pioneer Woman line at Walmart. And I got a 3-yard bolt of it on clearance for $4. So I paid $1.33 a yard for this beautiful, beautiful floral. And previously I've used it to make bandanas and scrunchies. This is my first time sewing a garment with any of the Pioneer Woman fabric. And trust me, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous look. I love it so much. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here, if you can't tell. I'm just trying to get it so that like all these things are flat and lined up and flush, and it's very important, and it's also very difficult. So easy does it, nice and slow, and I think this should get us there. The corners are the hardest part. It was very difficult. Like basically the instructions said for folding this under, like cut your notches every 1/2 inch. And so that's what I did, but then you can see, you know, when you get to the corner there, or not the corner, the pointy, what would you call that? The tip, the point? When you get there, it gets a little bit trickier because your notches, like the pieces of fabric are overlapping each other in a different way. Wow, this is really tricky. I think I got it. Oh, I might need to iron this again. I'm just having a little bit of difficulty with it. Now I'm going to still have to put the piping under here too. Let me get this like so it's not falling off the table because it was a little bit tricky. Alright, get that folded under nice and flat, fold it under. I feel like the gray fabric is not where it's supposed to be, but maybe it's okay. There. That's how it's supposed to be. But see, I still have to get the piping under here, so I don't even know if I should be doing this first or if I should do it all at this. Oh, I think I got it. Okay, we're good. We're good now. Well, that one needs to get folded under better. Wow, this is really tough. Cotton kind of sticks to itself, you know. It's got a little bit of a grip, whereas if this was like a polyester blouse, everything would be slipping all around. So usually the grip is kind of a helpful thing. All right, how's that look? Pretty good. Now let's get our red piping and cut the length that we need for this. Wait, did I already cut it? I can't remember. No, maybe I didn't. So let's just take this over here and get our red piping fitted. So this is how much we're, oh wait, it's kind of got like 2 different sides to it. Look at this. Hang on, you can't see it. This side, it just looks like it's a little bit like this side better. So I want this side to go up. So let's start here, and we're just going to go across. This is where we're going to notch it probably, and that has to get folded up again just like the other one in the corner, and then we'll cut it here. Alright, scissors are over here. And wait, what the heck did I just, oh my gosh. I think I just screwed up that cut really bad. Yeah, I did. I don't even know what I'm doing, you guys. Don't let me get discouraged, okay? Things are going really well, even if I feel like it's taking a really long time right now, and my back hurts, and I'm very thirsty, and I'm overheating. It really just means that I can just cut this fabric here. This is where it needs to be cut. Let's pay attention. And then snip. Thank you for the thumbs ups, everybody. Please keep them coming. I think I'm doing a good job. Cheers to my efforts. Oh, that was good. Okay, so now you get to watch my thumbs fiddle around for a little while again. All right, so let me just do it like this. I want to get some notches in here first, and let's use my tiny little snips for this. So let's do like this, and like this, and like this. And then, I don't know, I might actually take out some little triangles too. Do you guys know the difference between notches and shoot, what's the other things called? Notches and like I said, my brain isn't working today because of the heat. Is anyone else in that boat with me? Well, let's just pretend I know what I'm saying and what I'm trying to do here. Oh, all right, good. I got some notches cut in here. And we're just calling them notches because that's what they are. I got like little pieces of red crud all over the place. Oh my gosh, this thing is making me bonkers here. Oh my gosh. This might be the live stream where I get so frustrated I pick up the phone and throw you across the room. Let's hope it's not, though. Let's hope it's not. That would set a really bad precedent moving forward. All right, I'm going to sink in my first pin, and then I think that'll make things a lot easier. All right, not perfect. Let's do that one more time. I probably shouldn't have the pin cushion on top of the fabric, pinning it down, right? Okay, here we are. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, that looks good. Now, before I get too far, kind of a little bit off, of course, because I do that sometimes. I'm just checking the up. Yeah, because remember last time I put pins up further to hold this straight. So let's do that again, because that seemed to work pretty well the first time. Yeah, we're pretty good. We are pretty good. And look, I haven't poked myself again a single time. All right, back to it now. Oof. Let's keep pinning. Oh my gosh, this is gonna look so amazing. I'm so thrilled that I know how to do piping. The first time I did it, I actually made my own. I used some like elastic cording and some twill tape, and I just wrapped the twill tape around the cording and, you know, didn't stretch the cording. I just was using it because it was like a small cylinder that I needed. And then I sewed, I think I used the zipper foot to sew right next to it, you know, and like lock it up. And then I used that piping to make the Charm Patterns by Gertie, the Scout Garrison hat. and it turned out amazing. It actually is a hat that matches a vintage reproduction Butterick pattern that I sewed up. That was, I think, Butterick 7880, is that right? And oh my gosh, the hat that matches it, it's a whole other level, you know? Anytime I sew a garment, I pretty much always make a matching scrunchie that I sew up with it. And if I can make a matching hat or a matching, I have not made like a matching handbag yet, but how amazing would that be? And like you can make basically like anytime I can make a 2-piece outfit, a 3-piece outfit, I'm gonna go for it. And it can be as simple as like making a headband, or you don't even need to like sew. You could just take some fabric, you know, a remnant from the fabric that you used, and put a like a ribbon in your hair from the fabric. Like that would be amazing. Okay, so this is the tricky part for a number of reasons. We need to get this nice and pointy, and this has to stay underneath there. So let's get that. Okay, that's not great. Oh my gosh, this is, oh, I think I almost got it. Hang on a sec. There. That's about as good as I'm going to get this. Now let me get a pin right in there. And then we're going to have to focus on getting this piping to be nice, and that's actually pretty good, I think. Oh, this is getting tricky again. Okay, we're getting it, we're getting it. Can y'all still see what I'm doing? I know it's slow going. Are you on the edge of your seat? Is it so riveting you just can't wait to see what's going to happen next? I'll give you a clue what's going to happen. I'm going to add some more pins, and then I'm going to sew some more. This is really coming along. I think I've spent, well, the last live stream I did on this top, I spent an hour, and that was just sewing darts last time. And now this time we're adding the yokes, and we're adding the piping, and then we'll see how far we get after that. I'm hoping that we could attach the shoulders together and maybe even sew the side seams up. But I also have to think, so I mentioned at the beginning, right? We are doing this like two-tone look, which I adore. But this is going to be a sleeveless blouse, and what I already did earlier was I cut some bias tape. Basically, I cut my own bias tape because we're going to do like a bias binding around the sleeve openings, the arm openings. But what do we think? If we have like part of the arm opening that's floral and part that's white, would it look okay having a floral binding around the edge? Or should we do it so that like some of it's white and some of it's floral? Would that make me absolutely crazy if I tried to do it that way? Or should we just make the whole thing white? I'm kind of leaning towards making it all white, but I'm a little bit worried about that, simply for the fact that we might encounter that problem where the floral is going to be showing through the white. I need more pins. Where's my other pin cushion? Here it is. Wow, I can't believe I used that many pins. Well, Michelle, thank you for the tip, because it does seem like lots of pins are the way to go. And I think I'm going to do one last one after this. Now, you know what? I think that's enough. How many pins are in there? Does anybody want to count for us? Looks like a lot. All right. So, how is this angle for everybody? Thank you for the thumbs ups, and welcome everybody. So glad you're here with me sewing on a Sunday night. All right, I think that looks all right. And what are we gonna do here? So, Maybe you guys were better where you were before. Pardon me. I think I'm going to put you over here. And I think I liked sewing from this side better than the other side. So let's do that. You know how like people are right-handed or left-handed? Some sewing machines are right-handed or left-handed. And mine seems to prefer this direction. This thing, it's not an official Singer part, and it's not the sturdiest thing around, but it seems like it's going okay. All right, let's sink this needle. And I'm actually a little bit too close to the edge, aren't I? Get a little, let me see what that's good. Oh, that looks good. That looks real good. Okay, let me do a couple stitches, then I'm gonna back stitch. A couple. Okay. And now, let's sew our binding on here. I think I'm too close to the edge again. I wonder why that keeps happening. Let me sink my needle. And I think what I'm gonna try to do, see, I can't get it to go any further that way. I guess I could make it go to the right, and then I could move. Well, is that gonna do anything? I don't think it would. Let's just say centered. I'm very, very close to the edge. I don't want to be that close. And I'm not sure why it is that close. It's kind of weird. Well, oh, maybe I should just kind of pull this a little bit back. Maybe I'm a little too close that way. All right, let's try again. That's not bad. Let me get these pins out of here because they are getting a little bit caught. Pin cushion back where it belongs. Okay, let's keep going. This looks good to me. Get this out of here. Let me get a couple of them out of here, actually. It's like, oh, I just spent all that time putting these pins in, and then I'm just gonna rip them right out. You all just went for a little ride, didn't you? Here. Now you can see again. I'm worried about this tip down here. I am very worried about how this little bob down there is going to look, because we need to be real centered in the middle. We need that point to be nice and sharp. This is going pretty well. Get this guy out. See, I think, oh boy, I'm worried about this little tip because there's almost like a little thread hanging out that I think is from when I clipped my little notches in there. Here, this is gonna have to come out, unfortunately. All right, we can do it, we can do it, and it doesn't need to be totally perfect, okay? Let's let go of that idea. And I'm gonna go so slow now. I'm probably gonna hand crank this. I hope you all can still see what I'm doing. Let me get these pins out of here. They're not making it any easier for me. Okay, this just needs to like kind of overlap. I'm pushing it up against that other piece, and I hope I'm not blocking too much the work area. All right, this has to get pulled down. We need to do like one more. And then this is getting a little bit tough because I have to pivot out of the way there. Oh boy. I'm not sure what happened here. Can you guys see this? We got like a big gap over here, and I don't know if that's because the white fabric got pulled up or if because this got pulled down a little. you see okay? There we go. Well, we're at the official halfway mark. We've done one front and we've done half of the back. So this is good. Let me hand crank a couple more times because I feel like I'm risking getting a wrinkle of fabric in here, and I definitely do not want any wrinkles or puckers in this back yoke. Sometimes I don't have enough torque, so I have to just hand crank it to get it going. Okay, I think we're good. Let's keep going. I'm getting a little too close to the piping again. So how did I fix that the last time? Let me, oh boy, I'm actually like, I have to lift this up, I think. There, that's a little bit better. I'm just like so, can you see how close I am here? Like this zipper foot really, oh, it's not focusing because of the silly, let me show you real quick. Can you see how close that is? That's my needle, and that's the piping there. Usually this thing pushes it out a little bit, so it's not super duper close. But I just have to be careful that we don't miss our white fabric and only sew the piping. Let me, yeah, I'm kind of just, okay, that is better. I fixed it. Okay, we're really good now. So back on track, get that pin out of there, and let's finish this side up. Sorry, I did that little trick again where you go spinning around on your little merry-go-round. Okay, here. And we're just about done. Oh, this is gonna look so good. Yes, 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 yes. I'm almost like too close. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be amazing. It feels so good when you're coming up to the finish line. Okay, here we are. Let's finish up. Nice and slow, and then I'm gonna back stitch. Wow! Wait till you guys see this craftsmanship. My goodness. So I'm going to Montana, and I'm gonna be probably entering some pieces into the what's it called? The fair. I'm gonna enter some of my garments into the Western Montana Fair. And this might be one of the ones that makes it as an entry. Okay. Nice and even. Yes. Looks good. Looks good. Now, the rest of this is going to be a basting stitch to just hold this all together. Oh no, did I just pin myself again? It's just going to be a basting stitch, and that is just the longest stitch that you can do on your machine. I'm almost wanting to do like a hand basting stitch, but for the sake of time, I think I'll use... See, it's like if I do a hand basting stitch, I can pull it out easier than if I use the machine. But if I use the machine, it gets put in quicker. Can you tell I kind of don't want to do either option? It's tough when it's hot out. It is tough. Here, let's get a really good look at this. Oh my gosh, I'm stuck to the chair. Oh my goodness, you guys are so kind and patient with me. I really appreciate it. So let's take a look at this bloody mess that I started off with. We're gonna get this stain out of here, and we are looking so good. Wow. I love it. I love it. I really like that I did the two-tone, and I really like that we don't only have two-tone, we also have piping. All right, so now this is the last one we need to do, and this is the one that I already sewed the darts up in, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's like a little bit, I think I can still kind of get it to be flat up here where it needs to be. So I'm going to show you the process from the top on this one, which is just sewing a stay stitch here, making clips, folding it up, and then I cut off the seam allowance here, and then ironed and pressed it, and then sewed it on. So here we go, taking it from the top. Thanks for the hearts, everybody. Hearts and thumbs up, I love them. There's 126 people here, which is so cool. Thank you for spending time with me. I love sewing with friends. It's the best. I'm just gonna go back to my universal foot. And that is over here. I think I can get it on here. Uh-oh. It's tricky sometimes. I might have to take it off. Okay, I got it. This screw is like one of the hardest ones for me. Okay, we're good. Now, for the stay stitch, I'm going to do like 12 stitches per inch. And I just want to make sure, I want to make sure I'm sewing the right spot. Yeah, that's what it looks like. See? So we're stay stitching down. We're stay stitching down here. So let me do it like this. And we're going to do, I'm pretty sure 5/8 inch seam allowance, right? Yeah. You guys could go over here. How's that lighting look? If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the chat. Have any of you ever sewn any patterns, Charm Patterns by Gertie? This is my first time doing one. So far, so good, I'd say. Okay, I think that's about, maybe I'll do one more and then pivot. Okay, 5/8 inch. My fabric got a little bit wrinkled up. Okay, there, I fixed it. So the point of this, I think, is to just kind of mark and help you fold it, I think. I was kind of like, well, why are we stay stitching? Kind of like, okay, I guess it's a curve. We don't want it to stretch out. Looks like the gray is working like a charm. Yeah, it is, Jess. Thank you so much for the tip. It really, really did the job. And this is they say clip it every 1/2 inch. This is the problem where I'm always like, well, how do I clip this part? I think I took a notch out last time, but then I got a little worried because I was scared that it was gonna have the thread show through. Do you know what I mean? Like, you definitely, the main important thing when you're doing these clips is you don't want to clip through your stitch line. That would be not good. So I'm kind of just winging it, but overall I think it's going well enough. Now I'm gonna have to grab the other front piece of my pattern because I can't remember which one I have done and which one still needs to be done. So this is the one that needs the overlay. This is the right side. And that means that we're going to be folding it under this way. So let me get my iron heated up, and I'll bring you guys over to watch me do some ironing. Fancy people call it pressing. Here we go. Get this plugged in. So the one thing that I have not done on, well, there's two things I haven't done on my toile. I've not messed around with doing the collar, and I've also not messed around with doing the binding for the sleeveless version of the blouse. I've never done a binding before. I've never cut my own bias tape until I did it for this project, and I've never sewn bias tape before either, especially not around something as challenging as a sleeve. So we'll see how that's gonna go. I hope I'm folding this the right way. And I also hope that my snipping job turns out to be the right approach, or at least an approach that works. So far, so good. Let's see if we have any heat yet in the iron. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's get this other side. I was so excited, you guys. My best friend from college, Jill, came and visited me today. We watched Survivor together, and I ate calzone. I just saw that episode of Parks and Rec where they're like hosting the policeman's fundraiser or whatever, and the really dorky guy is like, "Hey, do you like calzone?" And ever since then, I've been thinking about calzones. So I was really excited to have that for dinner. It's not something I usually eat or enjoy. Okay, so here, I just have to fix this part a little bit. It needs to, maybe I should have done an extra little snip there. That looks good. Now, we're taking off the seam allowance from the gray. And this is often a little bit tricky as well, but we're just gonna kind of wing it, I think. I was having trouble cutting this fabric earlier. It's like very floppy. And I had to use the scissors. Let me actually try these scissors, see if these are any better than the pair I was using earlier. These are really good ones for fabric, I've found. Okay, I think we're doing good. This attention to detail is really impressing me tonight. If anybody's impressed, please give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel grow, and it makes me feel really good about myself. You guys, I am like sometimes a little overly confident with my sewing, and then I make a mistake and I'm like, oopsie. But for the most part, I think I can figure things out, just given enough time. And the key for me is usually like taking a break. I was getting a little frustrated with the pinning situation earlier. And if I hadn't been on a live stream, I probably would have been like, forget this. Let me go lay down for a while. Or let me go make some popcorn or eat some dark chocolate, because this is making me nuts and I don't like feeling nuts. But we recovered pretty well, didn't we? Okay. I will take it. I will take it. Now, this is like really critical, because remember how I was saying that I want the two front panels to be like, you know, the 2 points here to be well aligned with each other. Let's make sure before I pin or sew anything that that is going to be the case. So I think, let me just pop a couple of pins in here up at the top to hold it where it is now. Because this ironing board also has a cotton cover, so it has grip to it. And that can make sometimes things a little bit harder. I think this is probably pretty lined up on this side. Now let's compare to the other side. The other side, the other side, the other side, the bloody side. Okay. Well, oh no! Whoa. This is not great. Hang on a sec. Let me pop a pin in here too. See, I'm a little meticulous, can you tell? Okay, that. See what I'm looking at? This is very disturbing. I feel like I'm lined up. Oh, Kloops, you're right. This actually is the Pioneer Woman brand, this fabric. And I love it. It's so beautiful. So here's the question. When I sew this, is it gonna like go up a little bit? Or what is the deal here? What is the deal with this? And why aren't we perfectly even? Oh, maybe it's because like I'm actually not looking at the stay stitch on this side. I'm actually looking at the stitch the top stitch. So in my mind, I'm like comparing those, but oh, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. And I'm a little bit confused as well. Like the placket down the middle is going to be a floral fabric. Let me show you real quick and let me get my eyes on this and see what I think as well. So here's going to be our plackets. These are going to get sewn in like, there's going to be a little bit coming off. I think it's like going to be about, well, hang on a sec. This isn't going to be right. It would be like this. It's going to get sewn on like, oh my gosh, this is so tricky. It's going to get sewn on like this. I should be doing it on the other side. It's already attached. This is going to get attached like that. So, it's actually not that big of a deal because it's going to be like this. The one's going to be overlapping the other one. And I think it's going to look pretty freaking good. What do you guys think? Although, do I... Now that I did the two-tone, I'm like second guessing everything because I feel like I almost want that to be white as well. Is that gonna look weird? It might. Oh my gosh. So we might need to be making some changes that are probably gonna add a lot of time to the project. I think I'm going to have white binding up here on the sleeve and floral down here. And I think I'm going to have white placket up here and floral down there. But look it, can you see? Well, you can't because I actually have the wrong pattern piece here. Okay, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's put those out of the way and let's finish up this last yoke. Oh my gosh. You guys, I've been going for 70 minutes and that's the longest I've ever sewn in one chunk. I can't believe I'm still going, to be honest with you. Now, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm gonna have to call it a night. And I think you saw a lot of what I did here for the yokes. You're not seeing this totally done, but you saw the other ones get done. So, I'm so excited! Look at how far we came today. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like in, I don't know how long, couple days, couple weeks. I'll keep you posted. Thanks for joining me, and happy sewing. Take care, everybody.